recording. So Jake, watch your dadgum language, all right? All right,
Yes,
so we go to, that's what I was going to do. Go to Blackboard. That never works. And if you go to Blackboard, you'll pull up the MyLabs Plus, if it's working, and click on MyLabs Plus. You've got to find your course. Of course, you got to go down 15 pages. And y'all are, I'm going to pick on 130.06. And I can't remember how much I've covered, so I just do MyLabs Plus the second day, and then we'll get started. Have I already done this with y'all? I don't think I have.
Nope.
Okay, so that means Tuesday we'll actually start with the review. Y'all should be already doing that with my videos and everything, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Go down, hit MyLabs Plus, click on this. At this point, your computer will do something, especially if you go through Blackboard, okay? Because we're the School of Technology, okay? One thing, it might do this. The second thing, it might sit there and spin and have a white screen. If it does the white screen spinning thing, look up here for a red icon. It'll either be a shield, it'll be a red triangle, rectangle, a red X, or a red check mark. Right click on it and either enable cookies or load unsafe scripts or whatever, that just click it. If you get this, hit advance and go to proceed. And of course, when you get to, you'll get here. Now, all of you will use your TCTC login name, not your email address, because you would have @TCTC. Don't use the @TCTC. Just use your login. I've had 3 students call and complain that they couldn't get logged on, and guess what they were doing? They were using the wrong username. Now, I'm lucky. I don't have a number behind mine, okay? Some of y'all with Johnson, Smith, whatever the case may be, make sure you don't have a number behind yours and make sure you type it in correctly. 3 of the students, I've had about 6 students have problems. 3 of them were typing in their username incorrectly. After you type in your username, some of you may have had in the past a password. It may work. Yeah, just come on, whenever, that's fine. It may work, I'm kidding. If it doesn't, then go back to your T number with a capital T. I had 2 students typing in just their number. They didn't put the T in front of it. And you have to use a capital T. Everybody with me? Okay. Then you should see this. Your classes should pop up. Now, I've got a question for some of you Mac users. What kind of problems have you ran into, and how did you fix them? Because I'm not a Mac person, and I can't tell you. So go ahead and spit them out.
Well, I just logged in.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Ladies first. What?
Sometimes they take like 5 minutes to load.
Okay. I did hear from one student in the Math 120 this morning that you have to load Google Chrome onto your Mac and it runs better. That's what I heard this morning.
Yeah,
Google Chrome works best.
Okay. Jacob, what were you fixing to say?
so I logged in and it says bad request too long.
You
Error
still can't
400.
get in.
Yeah.
I want you to go down to the lab after you get out of class, and I want you to log in the lab, and I want to see if you get in. If you don't, then you need to tell the person down there that you need to find out through the help desk what's up. I think bad request tells me there's something wrong with your computer.
True.
Oh, something else the lady said this morning in 120, that you have to go through your settings on your Macs and do something about pop-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, system preferences, then privacy.
Okay, will you say that over again for everybody?
System preferences and go to your settings and privacy, and then it'll be on like the bottom portion of it.
Thank you. Okay, so everybody go do that. Anybody else having any issues that they want to get out and help each other out? Pendleton, how many of y'all are logged on? I only see 4 right now. Okay, the rest of the class, are they raising their hand? Because I can see the...
Yeah, they're all raising their hands.
Okay, so good. Everybody's on. I mean, I could go through and look, but I'd have to pull up all 4 classes. So, oh yeah, Tri-County, School of Technology, we don't know how to put 4 classes into one. So I have to deal with 4 different classes.
Mine says the site is not secure, but then it has nothing for me to click on to go to get past it.
Okay, look in the top right hand. Do you see anything red? Is yours Mac?
No.
Are you using Google?
No.
Use Google Chrome or Google. What were you
If we
using?
can't get it to work, I'll be happy with a B.
Internet Explorer.
Oh yeah, the handout specifically says do not use Internet Explorer. I'm sorry, Jake. What'd you say?
If I can't get mine to work, I'll be happy with a B. You just give it to me.
I'm not even saying anything. Just write the check out to Hubert McClure then. Somebody's gonna tell, oh, he's bribing students. Okay, next. Anybody else have any other issues? Okay, good. Now, when you click on, again, I can't remember how many of you have used MyLabs Plus. I think somebody said that a couple of y'all said y'all didn't, some of y'all. So I'm going through, so some of y'all that are professional students like Jake that's taken like 15,000 classes over, y'all just hang tight, okay? So here's your class, Math 130. Now I do not have a test to pull up in Math 130 because this is a new book that we're using. I don't think I do. Let me look right quick. I was going to pull up the test first. They've changed this whole system. That's why it's taking me a minute. No. So I'm going to pull up a test from, I don't know, 110. Let me pull up a test from 110. I want to show you what my test looked like. Yeah, just throw it on the ground. That's fine. Now, if you've had me before, which many of you have, you've seen my test, and I'm doing this for several reasons. I'm going through and I'm showing you what my test looks like, and I'm also giving you some questions that you may have about my test. Okay? So here we go. And you can find the test under what? Quizzes and tests. So, here's a bonus question. It comes from the handouts. Click on that. I'm going to answer all the bonus questions, and I'm doing that for a reason. Okay? Good. They're not supposed to bunch them together. On the review, sometimes it bunches them together. When you go through and actually take it, I hope it doesn't bunch them together. If you look at your overall grade one day and it has decreased from several days ago, what has happened? A 0 has been placed. Whenever you do not do an assignment in my class at the end of the semester, if it's not done, what will go in its place? A 0. Some of these bonus questions come from DA questions at the end of the semester from students trying to get over with the old high school methods. And newsflash, this is not what? High school. So they're not going to work. Even if you bring helicopter parent in, it's not going to work. Okay? Next. In your grade book, notice grade book is in quotation marks. That's where you find your what?
Grades.
Your grades. Okay? What do you hit if you want to know your grade? This is for the student that always texts me at the end of the semester, and what do you think they ask?
Where do I find
What's my grade? What do you hit? Okay, you don't have to hit it no more. Do you know why?
It just pops up at the top.
They have made it default. I wonder why. Probably because students couldn't find their grade. They couldn't hit overall grade. I'm serious, people. This is, now remember December 7th. We're going to come back to December 7th here in a little bit. This will say whatever, May or whatever. It's going to say that. If I don't change it, if I'm lazy, hungover, and I don't change it, then you pick the only one that you can pick, which will be this one. If you miss a question on a test and you believe it is correct, this is true throughout the semester. If you have a question about any test question or homework question that you cannot figure out, what is the best method to go by in my class? C is usually the one that y'all do, but that is not the correct answer. How about B as in Bravo? Thank you. Y'all also do D as in Delta. Newsflash, I'm never in my office. We won't talk about why, but I'm never in there. I don't get along with my neighbors. How about that? Determine the domain, that's a math question. That's a math question, and these are not the math questions. Okay, I'm sorry, this is not 110, so you won't see. You may see this one. Difference quotient. Y'all suck at that. Parent graphs. Math 109 people, my Math 110 people. Y'all should remember this. Math. Okay, this is the second most missed question on my bonus questions. How is Hubert's test and exam weighed? Well, technically it's test, exam, quizzes, and test, homework, quizzes, and exams. But there's only one correct answer. But this is the most missed. So that means people pick D. Why is D wrong?
Because it's only equal to 90.
Doesn't equal to 100. Yes, people miss that question. Although covered in the handouts, how is the best way to communicate with Hubert? Cell phone. Now, what I mean by that, because some of y'all think y'all are celebrities. I don't know why y'all do. Y'all not that important. But some of y'all, well, I don't know if I should call his cell phone. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you email my business, or not business, my cell phone, my email address here at the office, it will come to my cell phone. Okay? But if you need to get into me in a hurry or I can't even talk today. I don't know what it is. Maybe this vodka. All right? If you need to get in touch with me in a hurry, that's the best way. When does the homework terminate? When is the only logical answer? What is the only logical answer?
D.
Toward the end of the unit. We're going to talk about that in the homework because I show you this test. I'll go ahead and do it now. I need you to get out a piece of paper or your notebook. I want everybody to write these next few sentences down because I don't want to hear when is the test due. I don't want to hear that after today. This is called going over the pretest. Okay, does everybody understand that? I pull up the pretest after the last unit section. Write that down. I pull up the pretest after the last unit section. Now, I do realize that some of y'all had me before. You don't have to write all this down. Okay? I'm talking to students that's never had me before. After I go over the pretest, I will assign dates for the homework and the test. So you need to write down after pretest, homework, test dates assigned. And I usually, and write this down, I usually give you one more class date to send in homework questions. So that means that usually the homework will cut off one class meeting after the test, the pretest is gone over. So that should answer all your questions about dates. Until I go over the pretest in class, you don't need to worry about no dates. Well, Hubert, how do I know when to do? You do your homework after I go over the section. Who worries about dates?
Procrastinators.
Procrastinators. Good job, Jake. Procrastinators worry about dates. If you do your homework, if I go over 1.1 and you do 1.1 homework before the next test and send in questions before the next class meeting, then you are doing what you're supposed to. If you're not, then you fall into the procrastinating category. Or you do it over the weekend. That's fine. Next. That's a test question. And of course, these are not your test questions, so don't think. If you have incomplete assignments at the end of the semester and Hubert puts a 0 in for that grade, what will 0 do to your grade? This is for the students that ask the question at the end of the semester, I didn't know 0 made my grade go down. Why is my grade going down? Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam grade? Deadhead, I told you didn't bring a pen, pencil, paper, nothing, just came into my class one day. He called me 2 weeks after grade turn-in and said, I thought you'd replace the lowest grade with the final exam. I hung up. Why did I hang up? Because I'm rude? No, because he sat through the class and didn't write any notes, didn't print out the handouts, didn't participate, didn't ask any questions, and then he calls 2 weeks after grade turn-in, that I'm not going to talk to you I'm not even going to talk to you, so I hung up. He never did call back. Why does Hubert not entertain extra credit, extra points, dropping any grades during the last week of the semester? I like D myself. But that's not the answer. Which one is it?
B.
C. Yeah, I'm mean. Yep. What is it? I'm a xenophobe or a, what is it when you don't like women?
I'm a misogynist.
Yeah, misogynistic, racist, and I'm a terrorist. That's why. I should put that out there. Shouldn't I? No, I think women are beautiful.
No,
I think men are ugly. What?
I thought you said, what'd you say it's called when you don't like women?
Oh, women is misogynist. You didn't know that? Golly. You don't watch news very often.
No, I don't.
Okay. Because if somebody disagrees with you, you call them that. That's what you do. You don't talk or discuss. You just say that you're some kind of hateful person if you disagree with somebody. Okay, next. That's the math question. What should a student do if something happens and they are out of class for a while? This is for the student that had to go on a cruise. And she called me, and helicopter parent, 2 weeks, this is the funniest helicopter parent story. The helicopter parent had me on speakerphone and called me 2 weeks after the grade turn-in and said that I was just unfair. Well, first of all, I didn't know that she was going to be out of town for a week, and she missed the Unit 3 test. Jake, how many days did I give you to take the test?
Like 4 or 5, ain't it?
7, Jake. Forget it. Miss Billy, I'm going to ask you the questions from now on because Jake sucks. Okay? You get 7 days to take a test. She was only gone 4 days.
Well, see, I don't wait that long to take the test.
Yeah, you're just gifted and talented. So as soon as I said, well, Miss So-and-so, she had 7 days to take the test. Y'all ever heard crickets before? There was about 3 minutes on the phone that it was crickets. Oh, Mr. McClure, I'm sorry. Click. If you're going to get your helicopter parent all lathered up, make sure you tell them the what? The truth. So she still made a D. She made a D because she didn't have responsibility for her actions. What should a student do if something happens? B. Now, if she had told me before she went, I would have given her 2 or 3 days before and 2 or 3 days after. I would have gave her an extension before and after. But she did not what? She did not communicate. And for some reason, females have this thing that, that everybody, thinks mentally toward each other, and that's not true, okay? We do not communicate by extrasensitive perception, okay? Extrasensory perception. Okay, we don't do that. So she just basically thought she was going to get over by bringing helicopter parent in, and after helicopter parent found out that she had 7 days, helicopter parent didn't say anything but I'm sorry, and that was the end of the discussion.
Hey, what is dad syndrome?
You really didn't know what DAD is?
No.
Can somebody help him out?
Dumbass disorder.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, class.
Wow.
Some attitude disorder. I can't say ass because it offends people. Okay. These are all questions that I go over in my Algebra 2 review. So for those of you that, I hope, one person at least uses those. My 109s need to use it because I know they done forgot. Number 1 most missed question on my bonus questions. I want somebody to tell me how you could miss this question. Live PD is the only thing I can think of. If a student does not complete a homework assignment or a test, what grade will be recorded for that assignment? Y'all think, why do you think I'm repeating that so much? That's 3 questions. Why do you think I'm giving you 3 questions that say the same thing?
That's the most common thing people come deal with.
Exactly. After grade turn-in, this is what they try. If you take several forms of a test, how do I count it? B. Write this down. This is questions that you're going to ask me before the test. 1. I give you 7 days to take the test, usually. Sometimes I give you more. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 days. But most of the time, it's 7 days. What does that do? Why do I give you 7 days to take a test? I want y'all to take a guess why I give y'all 7 days.
So they don't have any excuse.
Thank you. That takes away some of your excuses. Like 5 dead grandmothers, you were forced to go on a cruise, 5 flat tires, you're sick, all of those excuses that y'all use when I give you an in-class test. I haven't given an in-class test in 20 years, but that's the excuses that y'all use. I give you 3 attempts. Why do I give you 3 attempts? There's several reasons I give you 3 attempts. Somebody tell me why.
You get 100.
Because lightning could strike your house as soon as you take the first test, right, Jake?
Of course. Happened to me last semester.
Yeah, because you decide to take a test when? During a lightning storm. Why don't you just wait until it's hurricane season and take one during a hurricane and go down to Charleston while the hurricane is hitting, why don't you do that? Or why don't you take the test when you've got 5 or 6 kids running around, your spouse has the entire community over to watch the football game and everybody's running around and it's crazy in your house. That's when you take the test. Why else do I give you 3 chances?
If we make mistakes, we can ask questions.
Exactly. You can ask questions. Some students actually critical think and go to the study plan for that chapter and section and actually work some more what? Problems. It's called self-improvement. You usually have 25 to 33 questions on each test. And I give you, listen to this, write this down, I give you an hour and a half to take the test. Why do I give you an hour and a half? So you don't come to me with the excuse that you ran out of what? Now, when I give you these test questions, guess what MyLabs Plus gives me? Each question gives me an average time that it takes students to do this test question. Now that's so 50, they take 50 test questions and they give me a general time. So I make each test 50 minutes. Is everybody with me? That's an average of 50 minutes. So that gives you an extra what? 40 minutes to do the test. So don't come to me saying you didn't have enough time. If you didn't have enough time, that means you don't what? You don't know the material. Okay? All right. So let's see what we made. Now the reason I did the bonus questions is to go over questions you might have about the test and about zeros and about grades and about stuff like that. Then at the end, I told you the criteria for the test. I usually give you 5 to 7 days. I give you 3 attempts, and I let you have an hour and a half. I always give you 8 o'clock in the morning to 11:59 p.m. Why do I say 11:59 p.m.? Because if I say 12 a.m., what will y'all come to me with? Oh, I thought that was lunchtime the next day, or something like that. So I do 11:59 p.m. because when y'all see p.m., you can say, okay, that's dark, when it's dark outside, music's coming on. Okay? That means that you know it's going to be dark. It's going to be nighttime. Believe you me, y'all give me these excuses. And now I'm going to hit submit test, and that will tell you that you get instant what? Feedback. You get instant feedback. You get to write down the questions that you missed. And even if you don't know any math, you can make a 50 on this test or a 49 on this test. Now do you know why I say if you ever meet somebody that made an F in my class, back away from them? Why?
Because they got dad syndrome.
Something's wrong with that person. Question, gripe, complaint, Pendleton, y'all all somber. Got any questions on the test?
No, sir.
Thanks one person out of 15 for answering that question. Easley, you got any questions on the test?
No, sir.
Thank you, 2 people out of 5. Oconee, do you have any questions?
Anybody got questions?
Thank you. I appreciate you communicating. How about Anderson? Got any test questions? All right, now let's go over. Thank you for having a personality, Oconee. I appreciate that. And a sense of humor, too. It's nice to have. It's better than being weaned on a pickle. I'm not going to mention any names. Okay, so let's go to homework. Homework is under what? Assignments. Okay, now this is where 120 or whatever. 120 has 2 buttons on the side. Math 120 has homework and then test. So I guess this one's different. I don't make these up over here. I just make up these right here. Anyway, assignments. And your homework is right there. You should be working on these 2 right now, these 3. And you should be, go to the YouTube, and let's type in Hubert McClure and go under my name and hit playlist. I've done that at least 15 times the last 2 or 3 days. I hope it's crossed, Y'all should be going over the Algebra 2 review, Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 if you really suck, okay? Y'all should be going over these two right now. And you should be working on the Math 110. Where is it? There it is, right there. You should be working on these two right here. Between the Algebra 1 and the Algebra 2 videos and these two videos, you should be able to knock out the review homework. Now, again, I'm talking to students that have either forgotten their algebra or suck at algebra. I'm not talking to Math 110, took it last semester. I'm not talking to Math 109, took it last semester. I'm talking to people that haven't had math or algebra in a couple of semesters. Or you did have algebra and you really sucked at it. One of the two. Or both. But Jake, you were masterful in 109, so I'm not talking to you.
Fair enough.
Yes, ma'am.
On my labs, it doesn't have the introduction, or it starts with R2, and that's it. Like, I don't see the under assignments.
She done broke it now.
Try to get on my
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in 110. I'm sorry. Let me go to 130. I'm sorry. I pulled 110 up because I'm sorry. I suck. There we go. Assignments. I was in the wrong class. There we go. These are the art. Okay, here is what you need to be going over. There you go. Those are your review sections, which are in the Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and the review sections of Math 130. So you go back up to 130. Sorry. Let's go back to, you go back to the spring of 130. Where is it? I'm finding it. Hold on. Did I skip it? There it is, right here. View playlist for 130. There you go, right there. 1, 2, let me delete that. Can I delete that? I can't delete it right here. Why not? Okay. Okay, the first, let's see, 1. I think I started the review in the second day. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos on, 6 videos. And look at there. What's that? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos that y'all can be working on along with Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. So I don't want to hear anybody say when I start classes, when I start, what day is today?
Thursday.
When I start Tuesday, I don't want to hear anybody say, well, where did you get that from? You shouldn't. You have all weekend. 109 and 110 students last semester, you should probably just go over these videos right here. You'd probably be okay. But I'm talking to the student that had Algebra 109, Algebra 2, Math 110 2 or 3 semesters ago, or you had 2 or 3 semesters ago, or you took it last semester and you really didn't have a good teacher, you didn't have a good experience, or you were lazy. One of those, okay? You need to be working on these 7 videos and that Algebra 1, Algebra 2 video. Okay? Now, let's go back to the assignments. Now, let's click on one of these, and we're going to look at, I hate it when they do that. They don't put the, I do not like this book. Okay, this one's good. The reason I don't like it, and I don't know is because I'm a teacher or what, but it's supposed to have little icons beside these questions. And it's supposed to tell you which one has a video, which one has animation, that kind of thing. So it's not doing that, and that bothers me. Okay, I'll shut up. Help me solve this. I want you to write this down because especially those students that have never used MyLabs Plus before. Help me solve this. It's what we call a guided tutorial. Does anybody know what a guided tutorial is? Well, both the first two will show you how to do it, but what's the difference between a guided tutorial and a tutorial? Does anybody know? A guided tutorial is like the tutor in the tutoring lab. You ask them a simple question and they ask you 15 questions while they're explaining it. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. In other words, 2x plus 4. We have an equation. What is an equation? It's something with an equal sign. Yes. What do we do to get x by itself? What are we doing with x? We're multiplying by 2. How do you undo multiplication? You divide by 2. I've asked 4 questions to do that one problem. You see what I'm saying? That is a guided tutorial. Who uses a guided tutorial? Someone, write this down, that has never seen the material. Someone that has never seen the material. In calculus, will somebody be using this one? Yes. Now, why do you use these things, teacher? What are you going to do? Well, these are for you to use where? At home. You know, that's when you're doing homework at home. So you use these when you don't have a teacher or a tutor available. View an example. This is a guided tutorial. This is just a tutorial that doesn't ask you anything. It just shows you what? How to do it. This is the most used button. Who would use this one? Somebody that's had the material before and they don't remember how to do it. A visual learner uses these two. A video has a person in it or a person talking. Animation doesn't have the video. It has a computer simulation, graphics tutorial, whatever you want to call it. You know, sliding in effects, the graphic, and then it has a voice with it. So they're both the same thing. One is done with a video camera. The other one's done with a computer. So I'm going to show you the animation because I like those better because some of the teachers that are on the videos are kind of cheesy. So I like to just watch this. Hit start.
Find an equation of the line with slope 5 that contains the point 1/2 negative 1. We start with the slope-intercept equation of a line.
Okay.
We substitute negative 1 for y,
Where in the hell did
5
it
for
go?
m, and 1/2 for x. Then we solve for b. We multiply.
Okay, I need
Then
some help.
subtract 5/2 on both sides. b equals negative 7/2. Now we use the slope-intercept
The
equation
Russians.
and substitute 5 for m and negative 7/2 for b. The equation
you
is
said about
y
Apple?
equals 5x minus.
There. Hopefully you won't lose the video like I just did. Everybody with me? So that's a visual learner. Textbook, that's for you readers. That's for people that can read War and Peace in 2 days. Okay? That takes you to the book. You can read all about it. Print. If you want to go old school and print out the whole assignment and do it at your desk, you know, pencil and paper, knock yourself out. Do remember, though, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't print out and then go in there and play with the problems because what happens when you turn in a problem? What does it do? It regenerates. So if you print out a problem, number 1, 2x plus 2 is equal to 5, and you go in and play with number 1, it's going to regenerate, and the answer is going to be different from the one that you did old school. So if you do old school and you print out the whole assignment and you do it, don't go back into the homework until you're ready to type in your answers. Everybody understand that? Yes, Hubert, we understand. Thank you, class, for the communication. Here is what I base my class on. Ask my instructor. You click on that as a last resort. Please write down, ask my instructor. Please put down last resort. Why? Because most of the time, you are smart people. Most of the time when you view an example or you do a video, 90% of the time you're going to understand it. Okay? Ask my instructor is a last resort. It's when I get the dumb questions that these publishers put in here. Okay? And we do have some dumb ones, let me tell you. Okay? And you put in here, this is what y'all do. I am a looser. And then put, you suck. Now, I intentionally misspelled that because now I click on send and you will see that it goes in real time. It goes to my handy dandy email account. Hopefully I won't lose this one. The video's still playing. Where is there we go. Of course, Tricannon Tech logs you out every 15 seconds. School of Technology. Let's see. Where is 130? Okay, it's not there. I bet it took it to this. Yep, there it is. I don't know why it's sitting. I got to fix that. Okay, so there's the question, and look. See, it automatically sent it directly to my email account. Now, my 109 students and anybody that's had me before will know that I pull up these questions in class and I do them in class. Who dictates how fast the class goes? You do. Mr. McCullough has already sent some. Way to go, Mr. McCullough. You are gifted and talented.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can't even do the review. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so that's a review too. Let's see what kind of questions you sent, Mr. I'll tell you if you are. You just took my Math 109. You shouldn't have any questions.
Okay.
Actually, this is normal because it's a difference quotient, which all of you pretty much suck at.
It only lets us attempt it twice before it gives us.
I know, because another teacher did this.
Okay, that's not how yours is going to be for 130.
I'm gonna have to go in and change every single homework because some of these teachers they're either on medication or they don't have a life. They make you, what they do is they set it at 2, and then if you miss it the second time, it takes points off your homework.
Right.
Now, I'm sorry, how is a person to learn if your question is cut off after 2 tries? Yeah, I know exactly who did it. So I'm going to have to fix that. Let's see the second question you sent in.
Also, hit the question help. It doesn't give us anything to help us. Go over to the question help.
They turned it off.
Yeah, turn it off.
Okay. This one is a piecewise function. I go over that in the review. No, I go over that in the Math 120, if I even go over it all, because most of the time I skip it, but I'll go over this in class. Okay, so chances are Tuesday we're going to start with these 2 questions. Okay, if I can waste enough time in this class, we will go, I'm just kidding. We'll go over these 2. So make sure you go through these reviews so you can go ahead and send in questions. You are a disappointment, Mr. McCullough. You should not be sending these questions in. You had me last semester. You're a real disappointment. So anyway, you probably should just go ahead and drop the class, okay? Next is you basically set the pace for this class. All right, and you do that by the questions. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask my 109s. Did we have a good class last semester?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got everything in, everything that was important. Okay. And you will see me skip sections. Why? Well, in this class, I know what you're going to get ready for 230. You're going to get ready for finding the area under a curve. So I need to teach you the things that are important for area under a curve. I don't need to teach you de Moivre's theorem that a math science student should know, okay? Because I don't think you need to know that for a business marketing application. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes I skip stuff that's not pragmatic to your degree. Because most of you are in what? Business. Or a ag engineering, or a marketing, or a You know, I don't know what you're in, but most of those classes ask for Business Calc 1 and Business Calc 2. In Business Calc 2, you do a lot of area under curve, a lot of intersection, a lot of inflection. You do a lot of that. And that is, I don't need to teach you all the theorems in calculus for you to understand how to do the area under a curve. So I will skip some sections. So do not work ahead of me, because I will just delete the section and you will lose all that work. Do you understand me? Okay. Did I go back into the 110 again? I suck. All right, so any questions on the homework? Y'all don't have any questions. Does that mean I'm just covering? I mean, the Pendleton's not going to ask me any anyway, but the other 3 campuses, do y'all understand? Do y'all have any questions? I just cover this material. Y'all are blessed, y'all know, because I cover this material so well. Grade book. Grade book is pretty self-explanatory. It's where you find your what? They defaulted, it used to be, you used to have 2 buttons up here. One was show calculations, and the other one was overall grade. Do you know why they switched it to overall grade to default? Because too many DAs couldn't find how to find their dadgum final grade. They couldn't hit the button that says overall grade. So they defaulted it to overall grade, and you have to hide it here. You show your calculation. It shows how it come up with that. So if you have if you have 3 points for homework, that means you haven't done what? The homework. If you have 3 points for a test average, that means you've missed test. There you go. How do you print out the book? You print out the book. They used to have chapter contents, but I guess they don't have that anymore. You have to hit e-text. See, they changed that. Math 120, it's called chapter contents. Click on the review chapter. Click on R1. Hit e-text. And you can print out the book. So I want you to listen very carefully here, because I'm fixing to tell you something. And some of you are going to go to the bookstore and say totally the opposite. 1, you can print out the book by sections, put in a notebook, and bring that to class. 2, you can use your laptop if somebody at Pendleton doesn't screw it up for everybody. 3, you can use a brand new book. 4, you can use an old book or an old business calculus book from 1970. I don't care. The math doesn't change. Or you can buy one book, new or used, and share it with somebody in the classroom. Does any one of those, there's 5 different options. Does any one of these 5 options tell you that you don't need a book in this class? No. So do not go to the bookstore and say, my teacher said I didn't need this book. Okay? Or don't go to the bookstore and say, my teacher said I don't need a book for this class. I didn't say that. I said you could use those 5 variations. Any questions on printing out the book?
No.
Good. Thank you for the communication. I appreciate that. Who's got questions on MyLab Plus? No questions whatsoever. I covered the material so well that you don't have any questions.
I don't think so.
No questions whatsoever. Going once? Going twice? Okay.